Hi everyone. So today we will be discussing about how we can place different types of order on IBK. So before showing you how to do via API, first let me show you how we can do manually. So right now the Indian market is active. So let me place an order on Indian market. Let's say we want to trade TCS. Okay. Now when I click on TCS on the left side, you can see this order window bar. So here first I have to specify the quantity. Let's say I want to trade one stock. I want to buy the stock. Now I have to specify, is it a market price or at a limit price? So let's say I want to place an order at a market price. Then I just have to click on submit. Now the moment I click on submit, there will be an active order. Once the order is filled, that order will be converted to a trade. Okay, so right now I have 3 trades. Now let me just click on the button and show you.
Order cancelled.
So your order is not accepted. Okay. I think I have placed on a different stock. This is not an NSE stock, so I have to search for TCS NSE. Or let's say I will trade on HDFC. Okay, instead of NSE, let's do it on HDFC. Click on buy. I'll have one, and let's do a market order, and I'll click on submit.
Order filled.
You see, the order was placed, and you can see it is showing order filled also. So what happens whenever you place an order? First, it comes in the order window. Once it is filled, it will go to the trade window. Okay, and if it is properly filled, you should be able to see the same stock in your portfolio also. Right now you can see in my portfolio I have HDFC. Okay, so this is how you can place a trade manually. Now I'll show you how do you place a similar type of trade by using Python. So let's make a new file first. So I'll make orders.py. So let me just copy the code that we have written in our last session. I'll copy this. I'll just paste it here. I'll just remove this code, and we don't want any forex stock. Let's go for a normal stock. So I'll write stock, and I have to specify the name of the stock. Now let's take TCS. Okay. Now one more thing I have not told you in the contract lecture, that is, it is fine even if you specify only the name of the stock. Okay, here I've specified TCS. So it will directly make a contract for TCS. I don't have to specify the exchange and the currency. You can specify it, but it's not mandatory. So I'll just show you. I'll write contract is equal to IB dot qualify contract. We will send the same contract in this square bracket 0 because it's a list. And in the next line, I'll just print the contract. So if I run the code, I should get the TCS contract. Okay, it is saying list index out of range. So there are multiple TCS. Okay, that's why it is not working. Let's go for HDFC. So see, the problem with this type of syntax, that is if you only specify the name of the stock. So if that stock is trading in multiple exchange, then it will throw an error. Not an error, like it will give you all the contract. But if it trades only in single market, then it is not going to cause any problem. So let me show you another example. Let's take example of Reliance. Now if I run the code, now this stock is only trading in the Indian market. So you can see I've got the only a single contract. Okay, now let's take some other stock like SDFC. Now if HDFC is traded only in Indian stock, it will give me a single contract. Yeah, so you can see it is giving me a single contract. So I was successful in making the contract. Now after making the contract, I have to make a order class. Now when it comes to order class, you have to understand that there are two types of classes that are available for us. Okay, one is few classes that are provided by IB InSync, and there is one class which is provided by the IB official documentation. So this order class is provided by official documentation, and this market order and limit order class are provided by IB InSync. So I'll show you all three of them. So first let me use this market order. So what I'll do, I'll simply write ORD is equal to market order. In market order, I have to specify two things. One is the action and one is the quantity. Action means do I want to buy or sell? Let's buy the stock. So I'll write buy, and quantity. So I'll write total quantity. So I can write it total quantity equal to 1, or I can only write 1. That should also work. So let's only write 1 for now. So after making the order class, I have to call a function that is place order. In the place order, I have to specify two things. One is the order class, order object, and the second is the contract object. So you can see first I have to send contract, then order. So let's send contract first. Then I'll send this ORD. That's it. So whatever argument, whatever this function will give me back, let's save it in a variable called as trade. And I'll just print the trade. Okay. Now before running the code, I want to show you one more interesting thing. What I'll do, I'll write ib.sleep. So I'll wait for 1 second. Okay. After waiting for 1 second, again, I'm going to print the trade. Okay. So you'll see the difference. Now when this trade will be printed and when this trade will be printed, both of them will be giving me different answer. Okay. So let me first run the code and show you. So what will happen the moment I run the code, the order will be placed. And since it's a market order, it will be filled instantly.
Order filled.
So you see the order is filled and I've got both the output. So let me just copy both the trade. So this is the first trade that I've got. So I'll just copy it. This is the first thing I've got. And this is the second trade that I've got. So always remember that whenever you place a trade, in return, you get a order type of object. Okay, this is the order object that I have got, which is made out of class trade. Okay, and this is also the same type, but if you look at the both the object, you'll see the difference. See this, the upper object ends here, and this new object, which is printed after 1 second, has lot more data as compared to the first trade. Now, why is that the case? This is because whenever you place an order, it takes few seconds to for the trade to be executed and to be filled. Okay, so if we wait for 1 second, what happens? The trade that we are printing is a filled trade, but when we print directly, so this trade is not filled. That's the difference. So on line 13, the trade that we are printing is a in process trade, that is it is not filled yet, whereas on line 15 this trade is actually filled. Okay, that's the major difference. So let me show you a little bit more thing about both the data that we have received. So what I will do, I'll just show you all the different data that we have in the trade type. Okay, so in the first I have contract. Okay, so in the trade object, the first attribute that I have is contract. After contract, if I go right, you'll see the second attribute is order. Okay, so I'll go right. You can see the third attribute is order status. So you can see in the order status, it is pending submit. It means it is not filled yet. And if I go right, you'll see there is this attribute, which is a list fills list I have. Then another attribute I have, that is log. Okay, so these are all the attributes that I have in this trade object. Okay, now let me show you the different attribute that I have in this trade object. So the attributes would be the same. Okay, but the difference will be that the data in that attribute will be a little bit more in this second trade as compared to the first trade. So first I have contract. If I go right, again I'll find the order. If I go right again, I'll find the order status. Now you see the difference here. The status was pending submit and here the status is filled. That's the major difference. And if I go right, you'll see that this fills also within this fills I have different element within that list. Okay, there are lots of thing in this field. Like first I have this fill type of object. If I go right, then I'll find another object that is of type execution. Okay, if I go right, I have some basic information like account number, exchange, everything. If I go right more, I also have a object of commission report. If I go right, I have an object of time. Okay, so I'll not press enter for this. Then at last I have object of type log. Okay, so that's the major difference in this trade. Since the order is pending submit, it means it is not filled yet, so I only have this much of data. Whereas if the order is filled, so I have these many attributes in the object. Okay, so few important thing you should remember, that is whenever we look at this contract, the contract will be same. Okay, the same contract that we have sent. So you can see we have all the data like contract ID. Now what's the contract ID? Now each contract in IB broker has a unique ID. So for TCS, the ID will be different. For Infosys, ID will be different. If you go for some option contract, like let's say January 31st, 2003, 2020 strike price call contract. So if you're talking about that contract will be having a unique contract ID. So for each contract, the contract ID is unique. Okay, it won't be same. And if you look at this market order, you'll see that the order ID is one argument. Okay, now this is a very important argument which we will discuss in few minutes. For now, just notice that both this and this are having the same order ID because they are the same trade. This trade was taken 1 second, like instantly after the order was placed. This trade was noticed after 1 second. Okay, once 1 second has passed, then I've printed this trade. Okay, so what's the difference? This is a pending submit trade and this is a order filled trade, but both of them are the same thing. Now what else we have? You can see if I go right, one very important information, that is order status. In order status you can see the filled, and you can also find the price, at what price this trade was filled. So at 2736 price this trade was filled. Okay, so from my experience these are the only information that are important, but if you explore the other attribute that we have, like this fills, in fills we have fill type of object, in fill type of object again we have the contract, again we have the execution. Okay, in execution you have execution ID, then you have time. So lots of data are available, like we have account number, we have exchange, so lots of things are there. But from my experience they are not that important, so there is no point in discussing about them. Now there is also log entry. So if you see whatever trade was taken, the entire trade log entry is provided in this log attribute. So if you scroll down at what time, what happened, everything is specified in this log entry. So it's quite long. Okay, so you can actually try to understand it, but it's not that important for the sake of building algo. So I hope this is clear. All right. So let me just revise it one more time. So first we have to make a contract object. Okay. You can make a contract object either by using the function, the classes provided by IB Insync, that is stock, option, future, those classes you can use, or you can also use the contract class. In contract class, you have to specify all the things like the exchange, the currency, all those things. Then make sure that you qualify the contract to see if the contract is valid or not. Then you will make a order type of object. Now when it comes to making order type of object, there are two ways. One is either you can use IB Insync classes. So there are two classes provided. One is market order and one is limit order. Or you can use the original order class. Okay, anyone you can use, make an order object, then just call the ib.placeOrder function. First you have to send the contract, then you have to send the order object. Both object you have to send in this function, and then this place order function will give you a trade type of object. Okay, now this trade type of object, if you print instantly, it will be pending submit. But if you print it after few seconds, if the order is filled, okay, if it is not filled, let's say you have placed a limit order, so the order won't be filled instantly. So even if you wait for 1 second and if you print it, the both the trade will be same. Okay, the reason why I'm seeing this as a different, the reason why I'm seeing different attribute in this trade is because this trade is filled. Okay, that's the only reason. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Now let's use the order object. Okay, so if I'm using the official order object, so this is how I'll do it. I'll write order, then I have to specify very important argument, that is order ID. Okay, so I'll write order ID is equal to, now this number you can have whatever you want, any random number you can have. Let's say right now I'm having 55. So if I have order ID as 55, so here also order ID will be 55 and here also it will be 55. Okay, any random number you can have. So let's have some more thing like let's have 4 5. Okay, this is the first argument. Then you have to specify the type, order type. So I'll write order type is equal to, it's a market order, so I'll write MKT. Okay, then I have to specify total quantity. Total quantities I want 1, and then I have to specify the action, that is it a buy trade or a sell trade. So let's do a buy. So I'll write action is equal to buy. Now if you notice in this order object there are a lot more other arguments that we can send. But for placing a basic market order, these are the important argument you have to send. So now if I run the code, the output will again be the same. Okay. But the order ID will be different. In this case, the order ID will be different. Both the order ID will be same, but they won't be this number. It would be 555. So let me just show you. I'll just comment this code out. So I've commented the code. So I'll run the code.
Order filled.
So you can see again, I've got a similar type of output. So if I show you here, this is the first trade that I've got. No, not this. This is the first trade. Okay. And look at the order ID. If you look at the order ID, this is 555. You can see this is the order ID. And this is the second trade I have got. In this trade, the order is filled. If you look at the order status, you can see it is filled. Whereas here, if you see order status, it is pending submit. Okay. And the order ID is same. Here also it is 555. Here also it is 555. So this long number that I was talking about, it was not a order ID. It was a contract ID. Okay. So don't get confused. So this is how you place a basic market order. Okay, so now let me show you how you can place a limit order. Again, there are two ways. Either I can use this same uh, order class, or I can use the limit order class that is provided by IB InSync. So let me first show you by placing a limit order by using order type of class. So first thing is I need to change the order ID. Okay, now whenever you place a new order, it should not have the same order ID as the previous one. So you can have any number, but make sure that it is not the same. So let's have 556. Okay, 5556. And it is a limit order. So I'll write LMT. Then quantity is again one. Again, I want to buy. Now, if it's a limit order, I have to specify at what price I want to buy the stock. Okay, so I have to provide limit price. So you can see there is an argument that is limit price. Now this trade was filled at what price? So if I scroll down, if you see here, the fill price was 2736. Okay, this was the filled price. So what I will do, I'll copy the same number. Now there are two options for me that are available. One is either I can have a price greater than this price, that is more than 2736, or a price lower than 2736. Now what will happen if I have uh, a greater price? So right now market is ready to sell this stock at 2736, and I'm a buyer. Okay, if I want to buy this stock, I should get the best price, that is I should get a price that is lower than the market price. Okay, so if I write a price, if I specify a price which is higher than the market price, then my order will be filled instantly. Okay, but if I have a price lower than the market price, then my order won't be filled instantly. Okay, my order will wait till the market reaches my price. Once it reaches my price, that is lower than the current market price, only then my order will be filled. Right. So what I'll do right now, what is the price that, let's just check it out right now. If I go to favorite and if I check Reliance, it is 2365. Okay, here I have written wait, let me check it one more time. Reliance is 2365, and here it is. Oh no, we are talking about HDFC, right? So HDFC 2737, 2736. So if I have a number like 2738, now this order will be filled instantly because this is more than the market price. So let me show you by placing the trade. So it should be filled
Order
instantly within the
filled.
1 second. You see it is filled. Okay, but what if I have a price which is lower than the market? Let's say I have 3132. Okay, now this won't be filled instantly. My order will wait till the market reaches my point. Once it reaches my point, that is my price, only then the order will be filled. So let me show you. If I run the code, you'll not see any order filled notification here. If I go here, you can see if I go to order and if I scroll up and down, if I click on live order, you can see the TCS order right now. Okay, wait, let me just cancel this. I'll just show you here. So you should see, okay, it is showing an error. Stock this, trade this, and it can see error 104 cannot modify a fit. Okay, now I've made a very important, I can say, or I can say a very crucial mistake. And what was that mistake? I try running the same code twice. Okay, and I didn't change my order ID. That's why it throwed an error. So whenever you place a new order, you have to make sure that you use a unique order ID. If you use the same order ID that you have used previously, then it will always throw an error. So what I should do is I should have a different number like 5558. Now this order ID was never used. So now if I run the code, it should not throw an error. So yeah, it was executed, and you can see this is a active order, you can see here, right? Is not filled yet. Now the moment SDFC price reaches this level, that is 2732, only then this order will be filled. And if you look at the output, both the trade are almost same. This is also same, and this is also same. Both of them are having the same order status. That is, let me show you the order status. So here it is pending submit, and here it is, okay, wait, here it is not pending submit, here it is submitted. Okay, there is a difference. After waiting for 1 second, first it was pending submit, it means it was not submitted, but after 1 second, this order was submitted, but it is not filled yet. You can see filled, it is still 0. The moment it will be filled, if I run this code again, if I run this trade again, then you should see that within this field I will be getting all the information, like at what price the order was filled and other information. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Okay, now I'll try to place a trade by using the limit order function. So I'll write limit order. Now the benefit of using a limit order is I don't have to manually change the order ID. So whenever I call limit order or limit order or market order, any type of class, so those classes automatically change the order ID for me. I don't have to manually change any order ID. So here I just have to specify first action. So let's say I want to sell. So I'll write sell, and I want to sell quantity. So I'll specify the quantity as 1, and limit price, at what price I want to sell. So let's say I want to sell at, now see, if I'm selling, I have to quote a price higher than the market. Okay, so right now it is 2734. Let's try to sell it at 2738. 2738. Now this won't be filled instantly, but if I have a price lower, like if I have 31, this will be filled instantly. So let me show you. So if I run this code, this should be filled instantly.
Order filled.
You can see it is filled instantly. Okay, so this is how you can place either a market order or a limit order by using this functions, or you can say the classes provided by IB InSync.